Hello, I'm Rob Phillips, and welcome to my channel where I teach you how to live a more balanced and present life through yoga and meditation. Today we're going to be doing a 30-minute Yin Yoga sequence that's going to emphasize the lung meridian or the lung channel within our bodies. Now, physically within the body here, the lung channels run especially onto the inner line of the arms all the way up into the shoulders. So we'll be doing several poses that will emphasize that. Now, in terms of the theory behind these channels, in Chinese medicine, the lungs are thought to be the main vessel through which we exchange qi, we exchange energy with the outside world. It's also associated with things we might typically associate with the lungs, such as our respiratory system, our immune system, and things like that. Now, emotionally as well, we can think of a balanced lung system as one that allows us to let go of grief, one that lets go of sadness, leaving us feel kind of more clear and fresh as we might expect. So for props today, I'm going to recommend having a blanket. I'm going to recommend having a couple of blocks. Gather all those props and let's find our way into a comfortable seat here to get started. So as you're ready here, finding your way into a comfortable seat, and as always, feel free to sit up on your blanket. Give yourself whatever support you need to be here for just a few minutes. Hands can rest onto the lap or optionally onto the thighs, whatever feels more natural, whatever feels more comfortable for you. Close your eyes and really begin to land. Really begin to settle and arrive here. Notice how your body feels right now. Notice especially how your breath is moving right here and right now. And through all of those various levels, just invite a certain possibility of softening. Invite a possibility of releasing and letting go here. Given that for today's sequence we're going to be working especially with the lung channels of the body, the lung meridians, just inviting a little bit of extra attention, a little bit of extra emphasis towards the breath. And knowing that in this Yin Yoga practice, we don't need a super deep breath, we don't need a strong ujjayi like we might use in, say, a vinyasa class. Just a gentle encouragement for the breath to move more steadily, just a gentle encouragement for the breath to really permeate through the whole body. Let's feel that here for just a few more cycles. Notice the breath, feel the breath. That nice, steady pulse within the form, within your own body here. From here now we'll take gentle inhale breath through our nose. Gentle exhale breath out our mouth. And we'll allow our chin to lower down. We'll slowly open our eyes. From here, first pose for what we'll call the main sequence will be a Widened version of child's pose. So I do recommend using a blanket to set this up just so we can cushion the knees, especially if you find yourself going wider than your mat. If you don't have a blanket or your blanket doesn't work well in the setup, feel free to turn sideways on your mat. That's another good way to set this up. Giving yourself a nice base here, so now we can come into child's pose, but with the knees separated quite a bit wider than we would do in like our everyday one. And so as you line yourself up here, you want to feel a bit of sensation, a bit of release onto the inner line of the thighs. Arms can extend forwards, and for the emphasis that we're trying to find today, really do feel some amount of sensation on the inner line of the arms, maybe up and into your shoulders. If you need a prop or something beneath your hips, feel free to use that as well. Making sure the neck is relaxed, spine is nice and long. As we now settle and relax into this very first pose. Now, as we begin our sequence, just a reminder that in this style of yoga, we, of course, intend to feel the poses. We're working with the body in specific ways. But we always want to be certain that what we feel in the body never becomes intense or sharp. So if things bubble up and get a bit stronger for you, just play with your alignment, experiment, There's no perfect way to do any of these shapes. And if you feel like a pose isn't working well, you can come out a bit early, just sit tight and wait for the next pose. Because there's no point in pushing hard here. There's no point in working too much with the body, of course. Otherwise, though, once we're in the pose, we let ourselves relax. We let ourselves really land and settle into things. And we feel that sense of connection. We feel that sense of awareness of being in this experience, connecting with it in each moment. And just in this really gentle, kind of natural way, invite your breath to move more fluidly. Feel it even out. Feel it come in nice steady waves through the body. Maybe even notice a slight sense of expansion each time that you inhale. Maybe notice that complementary sense of softening, of releasing each time that you exhale here. Taking just a final few breaths here and see what could you let go of. What could you release or surrender here in either the body or within the mind as well? Take your final complete breath just right here as you are. Slowly begin to inhale and draw yourself all the way forwards and find your way onto the belly. Now, on your way through, feel free to shift, feel free to release any way at all that feels natural, that feels good. You can get your blanket out of the way, or optionally, just keep it there if you want a little bit of extra cushion. But one way or another, really settle here onto the floor. Close your eyes and take a nice pause here. Take a few breaths to integrate what we've just done. In this pause, in this integration pose, you can just feel the breath circulate. Feel that easy pulse of things, that easy expansion and contraction of things. And just to reset for a moment here, let's take a nice long inhale breath through our nose. Nice long exhale breath out our mouth. Feel that all release. Feel that all kind of clear through. These next couple poses are going to really be getting into the line of energy that we're targeting in the body. So we're going to come into what we call open wing pose. We'll start with our left arm. So to set yourself up here, you're going to take your left arm out and alongside you, and just understand that you can play with the height or angle. There's no technically correct way to do this. You can even have that arm a little bit bent if you'd like. But with that set up, you're going to roll over onto your left-hand side so that now you start to feel some effect on that inner line of the arm, all the way up into the chest, into the shoulders. The legs can stagger literally any way that feels comfortable here. And a final little detail, the right arm could either go in front or behind. And one last thing I guess to consider actually as well is if you need support for your head, feel free to use your blanket or prop. You don't want to be hanging out in space. Again, these poses should feel like they're having an effect, but they should never feel like they're uncomfortable or just not somewhere we want to be for a little while. Once you're here within the shape, allow the body to relax. Allow the body to settle. Remembering that another kind of quality of balanced lung qi is the ability to let go. To release especially grief or sadness that we're holding on to. So that just like the air flowing smoothly through the lungs here, there's that kind of free flow with our emotions too. We don't get fixed or stuck on things. So feeling that here, just notice as the body softens, things start to settle, things start to open up. As we work really gently, kind of easily with the breath, we can encourage that breath to move more into our left side shoulder, into the left side body where we're working. Keep letting go. Keep feeling the body settle and unravel more and more into the shape. While continuing to notice, continuing to observe what that process feels like for you. How things are evolving for you here, little by little. For now, let's take one more complete breath on this side. We'll gradually unravel our way out of the pose. Now, what I'll recommend for you guys as a counter pose, you're going to rest on your right side cheek and take your arms back by your side. I will not be doing that just because I'm wearing a clip-on mic and I don't want to completely smush it here. So I'll rest like this. Of course, you're welcome to rest like that too, or any way that is comfortable, but the arms by your side can be a nice way just to kind of reset the shoulders and the middle back. So while you're here, again, in transition, take these few breaths and just notice how the body is responding to the work that you've just done. Notice that sense of connection, that sense of presence in this moment. Feeling, hopefully, as well, more and more a sense of dropping into things. Sense of really landing into this experience. From here now, let's set up for our second side of that same open wing pose. This time, of course, we'll be taking the right arm out and alongside us. So take that arm by your side, find a height or find an angle that suits you. As you roll into this, the legs can stagger any way that's comfortable, like mine are kind of stacked here. And your choice, the left hand could either go in front or optionally could hook around your back here. Feel free to use any extra props if you want some support for the head, for the neck. Again, we want to feel relatively comfortable here. Obviously, we're doing some work with the body. We'll feel the effects of the pose. But certainly nothing should feel like it's getting prodded or pushed in kind of an aggressive way. With that all set up here, with that all dialed up, again, relax. Again, feel that possibility of letting go. Feel that fluid flow of chi, of subtle energy moving through your body. Feel that sense of ease, calm, clear emotions flowing through here as well. Just what might it be possible to let go of here in this moment? Just what are you holding on to in the body or mind that might not be serving you here? What's it like to just rest in that sense of connection with this experience as it is? Please take one more complete breath as you are here. Slowly unravel the pose. Find your way into the middle of your belly here again. And I'm going to recommend taking your arms by your side, maybe resting over on your right side cheek again, on your left side cheek again. And like I said on first side, I'm going to rest here more with my arms as a bit of a pillow, a bit of support for things. And most important is that you find a position here that allows for you to really reset, to really relax. And take a good few breaths here to feel how the body's responding to what we've just done. I've been talking a bit more about these energy channels in the body, meridians, pathways, whatever word you'd like to use to describe them. As we transition, can you feel how the pose has allowed things to move more fluidly there? Can you feel a certain sense of vibrant, dynamic energy? And even though this is a relaxing, kind of slow-moving practice, we're very much powerfully working with the body. Here, let's take a gentle inhale breath through our nose. And take an exhale breath out your mouth. Use your hands, press the hips back towards child's pose, mainly using this just to transition. Kind of getting away from the belly here, shifting ourselves back, right? From here, we're going to slowly rise up and find our way into a seated position. So at this moment, I'm going to highly recommend grabbing a hold of your blanket. That's going to be kind of a cushion for yourself to sit up on top of. And we're going to have our blocks as well. I'll give an option to use those just to give yourself a bit of support and reinforcement as we work through here. So as you come up into your seat, we're going to be coming into our wide-legged straddle. Now, you're absolutely welcome, if you'd like to turn sideways on your mat, kind of like I'm facing here. That's going to give you some cushion for the feet, for the legs. If the legs are very tight, it's absolutely okay to have a bit of bend at the knees. You might even benefit from elevating the hips higher, maybe grabbing even a second prop to lift things up if that's the case for you. We'll grab our blocks as well. We'll set them up in front of us here. These are going to give us a bit of feedback, help us kind of regulate our fold. So just consider, you may already be feeling a decent amount of sensation in the legs, sitting tall, in which case you'll just stay here. You don't need to go any further than this. For many of us, though, to dial this in, we may need to lean any amount forwards. And as you kind of set yourself up here, just consider that there's no mission to get as close to the earth as possible. We're not trying to pull our way down, get the deepest possible stretch. I want you to just feel a light to moderate edge, especially on the inner line of the thighs, while at the same time allowing for the shoulders, the upper back to relax, finding some amount of comfortable round in your spine here. Now, energetically and physically, this pose is targeting more the inner line of the thighs. It's a bit more lower body focused, and we could think of this as working more with the spleen meridian or working more with earth element. This is the preceding element in the 5-element cycle to the metal element that we're working with today, the lung channel. So we don't want to work just one line or one system at a time. We want to kind of work each channel as well as the ones that complement it and kind of relate to it sequentially. So that's why we've included it here. And of course, physically, we don't only want to work the upper body. We want to balance some of the poses with some work and emphasis on the lower body as well. Beyond all those practical details, though, can we come back to a sense of awareness and connection here? Can we really notice and observe just what we're feeling here? And again, can we let go of anything we're holding on to here that is not needed? So that, again, by letting go, we feel that fluid, easy circulation of energy. More and more we feel a calm, clear state of mind as well. Work with that here for just a few more cycles with nice slow breath. One more complete breath like you are here. Slowly begin to inhale and roll up through your spine. As you come up, I encourage you to roll a bit through the shoulders, to roll a bit through the legs, to let everything kind of reset. As we come out, we could even use our hands to manually draw the legs together. And then from there, let's find our way all the way lying down flat on our back. So as you lie down here, we can spread out onto the floor. We can take up a bit of space as we'd like. We're not quite done yet, but we'll be wrapping things up fairly soon. So feel that shift towards letting go. Feel that shift towards dropping down. But also take this opportunity to just notice where the body's at, to really feel the sense of space we've made from the few poses we've done so far. And just invite a slightly deeper breath into all of those areas. From here now on our back, we'll tie this together with a pair of twists. So we can draw the knees together and gently hug into the chest. Slowly from there, as you exhale, roll the legs over to the right-hand side. Now, I want to be clear here. In general, we want to keep the shoulders flat on the floor. If you feel like they're hiking up, you might be like pushing the legs down a bit too far, in which case, feel free to fine-tune. Feel free to adapt a little bit. Now, from here, you can either keep that left arm kind of hugged in or resting on the floor, but you could also consider raising that arm almost like over your head, so we feel just a little connection with this line that we've been working on the inner shoulder, on the inner arm. Otherwise, though, once you're there, letting the body relax, letting the body settle. Feeling the pull of gravity drawing you more and more towards the earth. And really letting go of anything whatsoever you're holding on to that you don't think is serving you in this moment. Take just one more complete breath like you are here. Slowly begin to wind your way into center, and as you come into center, just a little pause. We can rock a bit back and forth. We can shift a bit through the legs. Settle here on your back, land here for just a few moments. Take a few deep breaths. And as you're ready to here, setting up for our second side. So we'll draw the knees in. We'll slowly roll over to the left. And as I said on the first side, try to keep your shoulders rooted. You can really kind of experiment with how far the legs go to make that possible, to make that comfortable and reasonable for your body. Now, in terms of the right arm, it could feel nice to take that arm more like over your head so you feel just some connection into like the shoulder, armpit. It's subtle, but that little bit of extra emphasis with the parts of the body, the lines in the body that we're emphasizing today. Now that you're here, let yourself relax. Let yourself really settle and be still here. Really feel as the body responds, and just invite that nice, easy, fluid flow of breath. Subtle, easy sense of movement within your shape. One more complete breath right here. Slowly wind your way into the center. As you wind your way in, take a few moments just to release one last time, to shift and reset as feels right. From here now, we'll set up for final shavasana. So extending the legs all the way onto the floor, opening the arms wide, palms facing up, maybe even covering with your blanket or any other props you would like. So here, just take a final scan through the body and make sure that you're no longer working, no longer controlling, even in very subtle ways. Take a nice long inhale breath through the nose, and as you exhale out the mouth, just allow yourself this chance to pause, this chance to reset. Deeply integrating all of the work that we just did today. So from here on your back, just take final few moments, final few breaths. Bring some attention back to the body in general. Feel the breath start to deepen, feel things wake up, and maybe even take a nice inhale to reach through your arms and legs before drawing the knees in and slowly rolling onto your side. From there, gently pressing the floor to rise up into a comfortable seat with eyes closed. So here, just take a final moment and really notice everything practice has shifted, everything that has changed here for you in body and mind. We'll join the hands in front of the heart. So as always, my deep thanks to each of you for sharing your practice. It's truly an honor to teach. And as we say, the light within me salutes the light within you. Namaste. So again, thank you so much, everybody, for joining. And if you happen to have any thoughts or questions, do let me know in the comments down below. Most importantly, though, if you enjoy these videos, please consider subscribing to my channel and please give the video a like because it's one of the best ways to help me grow here on YouTube.